Hey everyone, so real quick, I recently became a partner in the Content Creator Program. So if you want to support me, I'll leave this link below. You go down to the search bar and you type in Zepp YT, Zepp YouTube, and click the support button. If you do this, if I get to 30 supporters, I'll be able to give out codes to my supporters, and I also get a small percentage back of what you guys spend in game for points to use in the game to be a little more inefficient with my time and energy to get you more valuable content. So if you want to do that, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, back to the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another King Arthur Legends Rise video. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about who I believe to be maybe the best uncommon, and that is Jack. So Jack has, I think, two really good passives. One amazing passive, which is this Honing the Blade. And then his second one is actually pretty good as well. So we're going to showcase him a little bit and why you should build him and why he should probably be your first uncommon that you build, because he's really going to help you progress in Master of Death, and he can help you progress in a dungeon, which I know a lot of people really struggle with getting gear in this game. So hopefully I can show you some teams that help by including Jack to pass some of these areas. So yeah, let's talk about him a little bit. So he's in the Serpent favor, which is pretty nice considering he can pair well with Morgan. And they just released, that Irrit character. And I know I misgendered her last video. Sorry about that. I called her a he. She is a she. But anyway, yeah, so he's going to be really good in the favor dungeon. I'm not going to showcase that today just because that is one of the easier dungeons because of Morgan, but we're going to showcase him in Master of Death and then also in the Frost dungeon. So yeah. So he's got this Honing the Blade. I've talked about this skill in a couple different videos, but we're going to touch on it here because we're going over him. But this is your key to abnormal status effects. If you have Jillian is amazing because she heals you, but her cooldown for her ability that is very similar to this is on 6 turns, and it's much easier to get uncommon talismans to actually level this up instead of the legendary ones for Jillian. And you also have to have Jillian, which is a legendary character. But anyway, so when an ally is inflicted with abnormal status, he removes all of the abnormal status from all allies and then grants everyone a shield. Now, baseline, it's 10%, but with some skill upgrades, it goes up to 10. And then you also have a passive cooldown time, which is really important. We've talked about this little hack before. Don't level up your Jack to level 30 until you have this fully upgraded, because all of the talismans will for sure go into this passive. And this one is the most important. This one, you can 100% get it fully upgraded, and I think you should, just because it's very strong. So yeah, 4-turn cooldown on this thing, very important for Master of Death and also for the other dungeon. This one, very clutch when it comes to just boosting a character's attack gauge to have them get in another smack. So Jack, very, very good passives all around. So his relics, he also has some really great skills on his relics. They all are the same on all of his on all different elements. Sometimes the skills change, but he has all the same skills. So the one that I've leveled up the most is the Wind one because he's a favorable element to the Frost dungeon. So his skill 3 has a 100% chance to inflict attack decrease 1 for 4 turns. And this is actually a pretty decent multiplier. This is a skill that you should not take lightly. That can come in very handy on some instances. So his skill 2, he gives an ally a shield of 10% of his HP for 3 turns. This is also very strong. You can actually book that up to 22%, which is a really big shield. And the skill 2 plays into his second passive, where whenever he uses his skill 2, he recharges anybody's attack gauge by 60%, and it can go up to 70% with 4 individual uses on a 4-turn cooldown. This is a really good skill, and the additional shield is very nice. And then his first attack is just a double hitter. It could be useful for Penveed, but I wouldn't use him there. So yeah, very good skills on his relics. And then, like I mentioned, his passives are just great. So the way that I have him built is a Vigor set. Vigor is going to be so key for any of your support characters. I don't think there's really any other better set for support heroes other than Vigor. It's just really, really key to have your heroes be able to at least do their skill 2 every time it comes around to them. So yeah, he's got the Vigor set. He doesn't have anything really specific. I would say the thing that you want to kind of build him for, if you're relying on this attack decrease, you do want to have a little bit of effect accuracy. Mine does not. I really don't care about this skill. I'm mainly just using his skill 1, and I'm using his skill 2 in certain areas. So I have him in higher effect resistance, so he doesn't get abnormal status himself. I want to keep him healthy. He does have fairly high attack speed, so I have him in an attack speed ring. And then here I have him in HP. It's because I do not have an attack speed orb to give him, but if I did, I would use attack speed in the orb space here because I want him going as fast as possible. This allows him to loop quicker with his key passive, which is that abnormal status ability. And then also if he's at the front of the turn order, this cooldown will loop quicker, and he might get an extra turn on the boss if we're able to reduce the attack gauge of the boss or something like that with Morgan, to then boost up one of our damage dealing characters. So that is Jack. Let's showcase him in Sealed Temple. So yesterday's video I was talking about Master of Death and this team. Now some people might not have Jillian. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and bring in a team that I think can win, which is Morgan, which everyone has, Turin, which is an amazing healer, and our last character, where are they? Hold on. Jack, our showcase. Okay, so the nice thing about this team is even if you didn't have Turin, right, all of them benefit from nighttime. And Rosier benefits from the rain. So all of these heroes are going to have additional attack speed. They're going to do additional damage, and they're going to take less damage. You can see this by clicking on the weather icon, actually. So that's what this does. So the crit damage goes up, attack speed, and damage taken. All right, so let's showcase this team and basically show what Jack can do, even if you don't have Jillian. So Master of Death 8th. And yeah, so here we go. We need to restart because I wasn't quick enough with the trigger, and Morgan, of course, went and attacked the boss, which you can't do damage to. So great job, Morgan. All right. So we're not going to really need Jack on this first pass. However, it may come up where he's boosting Rosier a little bit because he is in front of her. So it might come up that we, need to have her attack again, which we can do with his skill 2, right? So kind of same thing that we were showcasing the other day with Rosier. We're just going to be jamming all the time with her skill 5. Skill 3 for the 5-hitter. So here, if we wanted to boost her, we could. I am saving this, though, because it's only available 3 times. So I don't really want to use that up because I'm going to want to use it on the second stage of the boss. So going through our skills here, just trying to chip down this boss. This is a longer fight. And I think what we'll do, because you don't really need to see this, he doesn't really come up here. This is a fairly easier part of the fight. we'll just we'll skip over to the main boss fight. So I'll see you there in a bit. All right, so we're on to the second fight here. It's the same thing that I showcased in yesterday's video. Is we really just want to try and kill the limbs as fast as we can. There are some people, in the comments. I appreciate you, letting us know how you guys do your runs. Some people prefer not killing the tendrils and get the boss below 50% to shorten the run. If you have enough power, go ahead and do that. I think the safer run is just attacking the tendrils, and, slow and steady kind of wins the race thing. So his main deal is whenever, the boss is going to try and land any of these, effects, that stun, abnormal status, brainwash, confusion, fear, all of those things. That's what we're trying to avoid. So here he put it on Morgan, and because Jack's passive activated, Morgan is no longer controlled, which is so huge. This is such a big fight, such a big thing in this fight. So here, if we wanted to, like Morgan is towards the back of the turn order, he could possibly boost her quick enough with this second passive to charge her attack gauge by 60 to try and push back these tendrils again. So let's see if that works. So we'll boost that. See? So it boosted Morgan right to the front of both those tendrils. So that could be really important, to helping us survive, or just getting that little last bit of chip damage, on those tendrils. So let's see if that worked. It's going to be close. Okay, so it made him go into his charge state. This is the thing that I was showcasing the other day. You need 8 total hits. This is another place where if you wanted to save Jack's, second passive, you could have. This is also a nice instance where the double hitter comes into play. So if you need those additional hits, that's also something that's kind of nice. All right, so taken down. Very good. First tendril almost gone. Also, Jack's passive is close to coming back around, so 1 turn on both. If we wanted to, again, we could have boosted somebody there. We could have boosted a Morgan. The one thing that I don't know is if you can target Jack himself. That actually could end up being a play that you might want to do, just because you want to loop back around to his abnormal status thing. So now that's off cooldown. Anytime he tries to status us, we're going to be good again. So this is like his main purpose, right? This is something that he just really excels in. Is he just keeps your team healthy. He's got the shield. He can give you boosts in the right instances. Playing with him on manual is very nice just because of the ability to cycle between the shield, the single hitter, and his attack decrease, which we haven't had to use yet. So here, though, because you can't decrease this boss's attack gauge, you can use his skill 2 to boost up the Rosier and take advantage of this additional damage to kind of just speed up your run with the boss. So really maximize the damage here. So yeah, like it's instances like that Jack is kind of a guarantee. So here's the abnormal status again, removed. No issues, right? It's amazing. This character is so good. There's the attack down for 4 turns. For 4 turns is so cool. Like on an uncommon, it's amazing. So yeah, he's a fantastic character. I think we'll end it here. I'll show you the final results just to show that it worked, but then we'll jump into another dungeon, not to have this video too long. So I'll meet you guys at the end of this run. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. Now 3 of my members actually died. But once you get to a point where you kill both those arms, it's kind of just an easy fight. One thing I will mention is in yesterday's video, somebody said that they prefer killing the other arm because then the attack just does so much less damage. It's way easier. So that is another option. But yeah, so Jack right here. So free-to-play player, uncommon, free-to-play hero. Now, Rosier, right? I know a lot of people are going to talk about the Fire Relic. I know a lot of people are going to talk about, her being Chivalry 10 or whatever. You need to really prioritize your like rare metals or whatever. The duplication the memory stones, that's what they're called. So if you don't have Rosier or you don't have her Fire Relic, you can certainly do this with Kay. Kay is fantastic in that spot. She's got the 4-hitter for the charge meter, and then she has really good damage herself, and then she also has evasion, so that's pretty nice. And depending on her chivalry, she gets extra turns, all of those things. So yeah, there's plenty of instances where you can do that. But as you saw, I didn't need Jillian. I was still able to do Master of Death 8 because Jack filled that role and just slotted in nicely. So that's a nice little team if you want to use it. Now, the other area that Jack, I think, is extremely strong is in this origin of Opalia. So there are tons and tons of abnormal status in here. On top of that, this boss has a really interesting effect that does a lot of damage, but if you have protection on your team, then it doesn't. So protection is a shield, which Jack gives. Shared damage, physical enhancement, stealth, all of those things. So the nice thing is not only does Jack bring the abnormal status removal, but he also adds protection. He is the only other hero in the game other than Guinevere, who is a rare, that gives an AoE shield. So I believe that's true. So the team that I used to beat this with Jack was the new hero. She's absolutely amazing in here for a couple reasons. She has a leader skill where you take 15% less damage. So very good in this spot. Morgan also gets the job done. You can use Morgan here, and that's absolutely fine. Sarah is solid just because some of the removal, but if you wanted to use Turin, I'm pretty sure you can. Turin provides, again, just really good buffs, good healing. And then a surprise great character in here is Arthur. Now, I have Arthur at Chivalry 8, but his Wind Relic is actually really, really strong. He has this ability that attacks an enemy 3 times and does a lot of damage. And then if the enemy is Frost, which the boss is, the damage on each of those hits increases by 32%. So that's an additional 96% multiplier. So that's awesome. So I'll show you the quick run with the heroes that I know work, and that's Sarah, Arthur, Jack, and the new hero. So if you just repeat battle, we'll just do one run, and you'll see this at work. So I'm using Jack's just basic skill. The shield here would be great, but if we're trying to do it on auto, this is kind of, what I'm planning on doing. So that's the turn order. Obviously, this new hero, the damage output is absolutely amazing, but so is Arthur's. So yeah, we'll run through here, try and get to the boss. So there's the confusion, but we remove the abnormal status with Jack. So we got Sarah in there for the heals. Sarah's also good here to dispel the debuffs like the defense down and stuff like that, obviously. But yeah, Arthur actually puts out some really solid damage. And let's get to the boss here, and you'll just you'll see how Arthur and Yrrit, you know, they just they work really well together. Do really solid damage. And then you have Jack in here just for the additional support. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this dungeon, but if you can farm stage 7 and get 5-star gear, even if, you know, the other dungeon with attack and speed is better, like those gear sets, that doesn't mean that this dungeon is bad. You know, if you can get 5-star gear, that is really going to help your account progression. All right, so you just saw the brainwash come in, but Jack removed it, and he also put a protection for Yrrit and himself. And I don't know if you're paying attention to the damage that Arthur is putting out. Yrrit also helps with the damage because she's putting up marks, which decrease the defense of the boss. So this is a really nice, I think, consistent farm with mainly easy to get characters, other than Yrrit, obviously. But other than that, like if you've got a Bedivere, if you have, you know, I think Cormac could be really good in this spot as well. This isn't really an Origin of Ophelia dungeon, but Bodwin is good as well. And then if you have Jillian with her Frost Relic, you know, there's a bunch of different options. Throwing in Guinevere here makes this dungeon really trivial, but I didn't want to showcase her. I just wanted to showcase Jack. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for the video. He's an amazing character. That first passive is just so good. And if you're playing him on manual, you know, take advantage of all of his skills. You don't need to just use him for his passives. His skill 2 for the shield and then attack gauge boost is just amazing. And then also his attack down is really important as well. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.